Welcome to the channel. My name is Matthias. Today we're going to cover a story arc that's plagued with many of the problems associated with comics from the 90s. It depends way too much on action and spectacle. We have a team up that really doesn't go anywhere because we have Spider-Man working with the New Warriors, but Spider-Man doesn't do much in the story. There's not much plot to the story itself, and it's spread out over 4 issues. I feel like they could have told everything in one. And the last thing is that they have way too many villains in the story. Now, the story itself, it's called The Hero Killers, and it takes place in 4 annuals. Amazing Spider-Man Annual 26. Then we have Spectacular Spider-Man Annual number 12. Then we have Web of Spider-Man Annual 8. And this issue in particular, I really loved it. I had it back in the day. I loved the spectacle and the action back then, but as an adult, I found it to be pretty boring. And last but not least, we have New Warriors Annual 2. So the really weird thing in this whole story arc is that it feels like a New Warriors story and Spider-Man's just tacked onto it, even though 3 of the 4 issues tied to the story are Spider-Man series. So the basic premise of the story is that Speedball gets kidnapped by this new shady organization. So obviously the New Warriors are going to get involved. Spider-Man falls into this whole situation because he was investigating the same organization because they were trying out these new illegal weapons and stuff like that. So as I mentioned previously, obviously we get the team up with Spider-Man and the New Warriors. They end up finding the secret installation in their search for Speedball. They get captured in this gigantic room and they send a couple of dreadnoughts after our heroes. So the whole first issue, they're fighting against these really big robots. Then we go into the second issue, and once defeated this first batch of robots, they send in another batch of dreadnoughts that are just modified and seem to be more dangerous. And almost all of the second issue is just our heroes fighting against robots again. When I was reading this the other day, I thought to myself, how shameless this cash grab. They're just stretching out this story that, again, should have been 1 issue. So we discover as the story progresses that the leader of this new secret organization is working with Hammer Industries and with AIM. He has created a series of locations where they can research and develop the weaponry and stuff like that. And basically Spider-Man and the New Warriors had stumbled across one of these installations. So what happens is, obviously our heroes find the main base, and there they come across a whole army of C and D list villains. I must note that some of these characters I really like, but I know they're not A-listers. So now we have our heroes fighting against Speed Demon, Beetle, Hydro, Constrictor, Whiplash, Boomerang, Rhino, and a couple of other villains that I have no idea who they are. So basically the third issue, the Web of Spider-Man one that I, again, really liked that issue when I was a kid, it's just another non-stop battle. And I do have to say that there's one page that is just one big panel where the art there is just jaw-dropping. The artist did a killer job. So Scott McDaniel, you did a killer job on this issue, but that page, man, it's a freaking masterpiece. But what happens at the end of that issue is that our heroes are captured and we discover that the big bad of the story is the Sphinx. So prior to this, the New Warriors had fought against another female Sphinx, and I think the timeline was altered. And in his villain monologue, he totally omits how he's back. The thing is, he doesn't have any powers anymore. He had kidnapped Speedball to steal his and created this technology that allowed him to steal other people's powers. So his idea was to do that to the rest of the New Warriors, and while he's at it with Spider-Man, obviously our heroes break out and we get the final battle between them and the Sphinx. And a couple of villains do change sides and help our heroes fight against Sphinx, especially Constrictor. Obviously, our heroes save the day, but the thing is, when I reread this issue the other day, it was just a painful reminder how prevalent this was during the 90s. These stories that would drag on and on, that just were pure spectacle and were simply a cash grab. But I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.